Hello students, welcome to Management Accounting class. In today's class, we are going to solve case study on financial ratio analysis. Okay, this case study was appeared in the 2018 RCV examination. First, I will read the problem. The following is the statement of Sachin Limited for the year 31st March 2019. Okay, and this is the statement of assets and liabilities. In equity and liability side, we have shareholders fund rupees 8,62,000, non-current liabilities rupees 2 lakh, current liabilities rupees 80,000. Okay, and the total is 11,42,000. In asset side, we have non-current assets rupees 10 lakh, current assets rupees 2,32,000, and the total is 11,42,000. And these are the notes to balance sheet. Note 1 is share capital rupees 8 lakh. Note 2 is reserves and surplus rupees 62,000. Note 3 is long term borrowings. Note 4 is trade payables rupees 80,000. Note 5 is tangible assets rupees 8,70,000. Note 6 is rupees 40,000. It is intangible asset. Note 7 is inventories rupees 1,80,000. Next, note 8 is trade receivables rupees 42,000, and note 9 is cash and cash equivalents, which is rupees 10,000. Okay. In other information, they have given total sales for the year rupees 8 lakh and profit made on it was 20%. Now the question is, first question, from the above information, calculate current ratio, quick ratio, proprietary ratio, capital gearing ratio, stock turnover ratio, and debt equity ratio. Okay, and the question number 2 is, comment on the following, that is, what is the liquidity position of the firm, debt equity mix, and the solvency position. Okay, I hope you understood what we need to find out in this case study. First, we'll calculate all the ratios and then we'll comment on liquidity position, debt equity mix, and solvency position of the firm. Okay, so next line, write calculation of ratios. First one is current ratio. Okay, first one is current ratio. The formula of current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. Okay, current assets divided by current liabilities. Now here current assets is equal to, we need to check here asset side. Okay, current assets includes inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents. Okay, and the details of this we will find in note number 6. Okay, in inventories, that is 7. In inventories we have stock, so we have written here stock. Then trade receivables includes sundry debtors, so we have taken here sundry debtors. And the next one, in cash and cash equivalents, we have cash in hand. Okay, so we have written here cash in hand. Now we need to write here the amount of stock. Stock rupees 1,80,000. Okay, plus debtors rupees, sundry debtors rupees 42,000. So we have to write here 42,000. Next, cash in hand rupees 10,000. Okay, cash in hand rupees 10,000. So make the total 1,80,000 plus 42,000 plus 10,000 is equal to 2,32,000. How much? 2,32,000. Okay. Next, current liabilities. In current liabilities, we have creditors and bills payables. The amount of creditors is, see here, the details we can get in note number 4. Trade payables includes sundry creditors and bills payable. Okay, the amount of sundry creditors is 56,000. So we'll write here 56,000. 56,000 plus bills payable is rupees 24,000. Current liabilities include creditors and bills payable. Okay. So 56,000 plus 24,000 is equal to 80,000. Is 80,000. Current liabilities is rupees 80,000. Now we got the amount of current assets and current liabilities. Put both these value into the formula. Okay. So next line write, therefore current ratio is equal to current assets how much? 2,32,000. So write here 2,32,000 divided by current liabilities how much? 80,000. Okay. Current liabilities 80,000. So 2,32,000 divided by 80,000 is equal to 2.9:1. 2.9:1. So, okay. So this is the current ratio. 2.9:1. Next question is calculation of quick ratio. Okay. Calculation of quick ratio, that is liquid ratio. So write B, quick or liquid ratio is equal to liquid assets. Okay. Liquid assets, or you can also write quick assets or liquid assets divided by liquid liabilities or quick liabilities. Okay. Now how to find out quick liabilities or liquid liabilities? First we'll find out the amount of quick assets or liquid asset. Okay. So quick assets is equal to total current assets minus stock and prepaid expenses. Okay. So total current assets we have already calculated here. Here you can check rupees 2,32,000. Okay. So take here amount of total current assets, right? 2,32,000 minus what is the amount of quick liabilities? Sorry, amount of stock. Here 1,80,000. 1,80,000 minus prepaid expenses is not given in the problem. Okay. Prepaid expenses is not there. So we'll write here nil. So 2,32,000 minus 1,82,000 balance is 52,000. This 52,000 is quick assets. Okay. Next one is quick liabilities. Quick liabilities or liquid liabilities is equal to total current assets total current liabilities minus bank overdraft. Okay. So the amount of total current liabilities is 80,000 and bank overdraft is not given in the problem. Okay. First we'll write here amount of current liabilities and we'll check whether bank overdraft is given in the problem. Okay. So see here note 1 is share capital, note 2 is reserves, then note 3 is long term borrowings, note 4 is trade payables. Okay. Then next note will start for assets. So there is no bank overdraft is given in the problem. So write here nil. Bank overdraft is not there. So write here nil. So quick liabilities or liquid liabilities will be 80,000. Okay. Now put both the values into the formula. 52,000, the amount of liquid assets is rupees 52,000. So 52,000 divided by 80,000. 52,000 divided by 80,000 is equal to 52,000 divided by 80,000 is equal to 0.65. Okay. 0.65:1. Understood? 0.65:1 is the quick ratio or liquid ratio. Okay. Next one is proprietary ratio. Here you can check. We have calculated first ratio, that is current ratio. Then quick ratio we have calculated. Now third one is proprietary ratio. Okay. What is the formula of proprietary ratio? Proprietary ratio is equal to shareholders funds divided by total tangible assets. Okay. Now we need to find out the amount of shareholders fund. Okay. So next line right here, shareholders funds is equal to equity share capital plus preference share capital. Okay. Preference share capital, then general reserves plus profit and loss account minus goodwill minus preliminary expenses. Okay. So first we'll write the amount of equity share capital. So here you can check the amount of equity share capital is rupees 5 lakh. So right here 5 lakh. Okay. Plus what is the amount of preference shares capital? 6% preference share capital is rupees 3 lakh. Okay. So right here 3 lakh plus general reserve. Now see here you have two options. Either directly you can take reserves and surplus as 62,000, or else you can take general reserve, then profit and loss account, and then deduct preliminary expenses and goodwill given in the problem. Okay. So we'll calculate this way. First we'll take the general reserve. Okay. What is the amount of general reserve? 40,000. 40,000. Next, after general reserve, profit and loss account. How much profit and loss? 30,000. Okay. Minus goodwill. What is the amount of goodwill? Here you can check in intangible asset, note 6. Goodwill is 40,000. So right here 40,000. Okay. Minus preliminary expenses. Now check in the problem whether preliminary expenses are given. Okay. Yes, there is a preliminary expenses and you can find this in note 2. Preliminary expenses rupees 8,000. Okay, rupees 8,000. So which all information we have taken here, which all amount we have taken? Equity share capital rupees 5 lakh, 6% preference share capital rupees 3 lakh, plus general reserve rupees 40,000, profit and loss account balance rupees 30,000, minus goodwill rupees 40,000 and preliminary expenses rupees 8,000. Okay. So 5 lakh plus 3 lakh plus 40,000 plus 30,000 minus 40,000 minus 8,000 is equal to 8,22,000. Okay. So right here 8,22,000. Done. Now we got the amount of shareholders fund. Now next one is we need to calculate total tangible assets. Okay. How we can find out total tangible assets? Total tangible assets is equal to total assets minus goodwill. Okay. Total assets minus goodwill. What is the amount of total assets? It is, see here, 11,40,000. How much? 11,42,000. So right here 11,42,000 minus goodwill. How much is the amount of goodwill? It is 40,000. Okay, there is only one intangible asset, so it is 40,000. 11,42,000 minus 40,000 is equal to 11,02,000. Okay, 11,02,000. Now next line, right? Now we got both the amount, right? We got the amount of shareholders funds, we got the amount of total tangible assets. So put both the values into the formula. next line write, therefore proprietary ratio is equal to shareholders funds rupees 8,22,000 divided by total tangible assets rupees 11,02,000. 11,02,000 is equal to how much? 8,22,000 divided by 11,02,000 is equal to 0.74:1. 0.74:1 is what? The proprietary ratio. Okay, proprietary ratio is how much? 0.74:1. Now after proprietary ratio, we'll check which ratio we need to calculate. Okay, we have done with current ratio, quick ratio, proprietary ratio. Now fourth one is capital gearing ratio. And what is the formula of capital gearing ratio? So next line right here, capital gearing ratio is equal to fixed interest and dividend bearing funds or securities divided by equity shareholders funds. Okay, in this problem, fixed interest and dividend bearing securities includes 6% preference share capital and debentures. Okay, the details you can check it over here. We have only two fixed interest and dividend bearing funds. First one is 6% preference share capital and the second one is 5% debentures. Okay, so right here 5% debentures. What is the amount of 6% preference share capital? It is 3 lakh. So right, 3 lakh plus what about the amount of 5% debentures? It is 2 lakh. Okay, so 5 lakh plus 2 lakh is 3 lakh plus 2 lakh is equal to 5 lakh. So fixed interest and dividend bearing funds is how much? Rupees 5 lakh. Okay, next one, equity shareholders funds. How we can find out equity shareholders funds? Equity shareholders funds is equal to equity share capital plus general reserves plus profit and loss account minus goodwill and minus preliminary expenses. Okay, which is nothing but from the total shareholders funds, if we deduct preference share capital, we will get the amount of equity shareholders fund. Okay, so we'll calculate here. Equity shareholders funds rupees 5 lakh. Check it over here, rupees 5 lakh. Next, general reserves rupees 40,000. Check in note number 2, rupees 40,000 plus preliminary expenses, general reserve rupees 40,000 plus profit and loss, how much? 30,000. Okay, minus goodwill. How much is the amount of goodwill? It is 40,000. Note number 6. Next, minus preliminary expenses. It is there in note number 2. How much? 8,000. So minus 8,000. Okay, 5 lakh plus 40,000 plus 30,000, 5 lakh 70,000 minus 40,000 and 8,000. So which is equal to 5 lakh 22,000. Okay, 5 lakh 22,000. You can check it over here. We got both the amount, fixed interest and dividend bearing funds as well as equity shareholders fund. Okay, now put both the values into the formula. Therefore, capital gearing ratio is equal to, what is the amount of fixed interest and dividend bearing funds? It is 5 lakh. Okay, so right here 5 lakh divided by equity shareholders fund, how much? 5 lakh 22,000. Okay, so next line right, 5 lakh 22,000. Okay, so 5 lakh divided by 5 lakh 22,000 is equal to what? Capital gearing ratio. Okay, 5 lakh divided by 5 lakh 22,000 is equal to 0.74 0.95:1. 0.95:1. Okay, this is the capital gearing ratio, the ratio between equity shareholders fund and the fixed interest and dividend bearing funds. Okay, next one, stock or inventory turnover ratio. Fifth one, stock or inventory turnover ratio. Formula is cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Okay, now here we don't have the information of cost of goods sold. We need to find out with the information given in the adjustment or in other information. Okay, there is total sales of rupees 8 lakh. So how much net sales is 8 lakh? So we'll write here amount of net sales is 8 lakh. Okay, minus profit. Now how much is the profit? Read the next sentence here. And the profit made on it was 20%. Okay, net sales minus gross profit, we get cost of goods sold, and we don't know the amount of gross profit, we know the percentage. How much? 20% of 8 lakh will be the gross profit. Okay, so right here 20% of 8 lakh, how much? 1,60,000. Am I right? So right here 1,60,000. In the bracket will show the calculation. Okay, so amount of profit, amount of net sales is rupees 8 lakh. So 8 lakh into how much is the percentage? 20%. 20 divided by, we'll write only percentage, 20%. Okay, so how much it is? 8 lakh, 1,60,000. So 8 lakh minus 1,60,000, balance will be 6,40,000. Balance is how much? 6,40,000. 8 lakh minus 1,60,000, balance will be 6,40,000. Next one is average inventory, usually, or average stock. Usually how we calculate average inventory? We take opening stock and closing stock, we add both the values, and then we divide it, then we opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2, we will get what? Average inventory. Okay, but here we don't know the amount of opening stock and closing stock. They have just given the amount of stock. Okay, so which means that whatever amount of stock is given, that is only the average stock. So 1,80,000 will be the average stock. Now put both the values in the formula. Cost of goods sold is 6,40,000. So right here 6,40,000 divided by how much is the amount of average inventory? It is 1,80,000. Okay, so 6,40,000 divided by 1,80,000 is equal to 3.55. Is equal to how much? 3.55 times, or is to 1. Okay, 3.55 times. And the last one is, which is the last ratio? Debt equity ratio. Okay, so next line write debt equity ratio. Formula is total long term debt, which is also called as external equities, divided by shareholders funds or internal equities. Okay, so total long term debt includes only 5% of debentures, which is rupees 2 lakh. Okay, which is rupees 2 lakh, and shareholders fund already we have calculated. So next line write, therefore we know the amount of shareholders fund, right? How much is the amount of shareholders fund? Here you can check. See, shareholders funds is 8,22,000. Okay, 8,22,000. So debt equity ratio is equal to total long term debt, which is 2 lakh, and shareholders fund rupees 8,22,000. So first write here 2 lakh divided by 8,22,000. 8,22,000 is equal to how much? 2 lakh divided by 8,22,000 is equal to 0.24:1. 0.24:1. Okay, 0.24:1 is the debt equity ratios. I hope you understood all the ratios. Okay, once again we'll revise. First one is current ratio, which is 2.9:1. Okay, current assets divided by current liabilities. Current assets are 2,32,000, current liabilities 80,000. Current ratio is 2.9:1. Next, quick ratio or liquid ratio. Liquid formula is quick assets divided by quick liabilities. Quick assets 52,000, quick liabilities 80,000. Therefore, quick ratio is 0.65:1. Next, proprietary ratio. Formula shareholders funds divided by total tangible assets. Shareholders funds includes equity share capital, preference share capital, general reserve, profit and loss, good, and then minus goodwill and preliminary expenses, which is 8,22,000. Okay, and total tangible assets is equal to total assets minus goodwill, which is equal to 11,02,000. Therefore, proprietary ratio is equal to 0.74:1. Okay, the next one, capital gearing ratio. Formula is fixed interest and dividend bearing funds or securities divided by equity shareholders funds. In the problem, there is only two fixed interest and dividend bearing funds, that is preference share capital and debentures. Total is 5 lakh, and equity shareholders fund is rupees 5,22,000. Okay, and therefore capital gearing ratio is 0.95:1. Next one, stock or inventory turnover ratio. Formula is cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Cost of goods sold, we have to find out, we have given net sales and the gross profit. Net sales is 8 lakh, whereas gross profit is 20% of net sales, which is 1,60,000. So 8 lakh minus 1,60,000, balance is 6,40,000. Okay, whereas average inventory is 1,80,000. Therefore, inventory turnover ratio is 6,40,000 divided by 1,80,000 is equal to 3.55 times. Okay, next one, debt equity ratio. Formula is total long term debt divided by shareholders fund. Total long term debt is only one, there is only one, that is 5% debentures, and shareholders funds includes 8,22,000, which is already we have calculated. So therefore debt equity ratio is 0.24:1. Okay, so these are the various ratios we had to find out. Now, with the help of these ratios, we have to answer the next question. What is that next question? Comment on the following. So, which all the positions we have to we have to comment on: liquidity positions, debt equity mix, and solvency position. Okay. So, leave one line and write the comments. Okay. Okay. So, next line write here comments. First one is liquidity position. Okay, current ratio is how much? 2.9:1. It is more than the standard ratio, and it is satisfactory and indicate the short term solvency is sound. Okay, firm's short term solvency is sound. Sound or good. Next, quick ratio is below the standard ratio. Standard ratio is 1:1. It indicates current assets includes huge amount in the form of stock. In stock, and movement of stock is very slow. Okay. Next one, debt and equity mix. Now see here, we were about to find out we have to comment on liquidity position, as the actual current ratio is 2.9, which is more than the standard ratio, which indicates that good solvency position, short term solvency position, liquidity position of the firm is sound. Okay, next, second one is debt equity mix, that is external and internal equity mix. Debt equity ratio is how much? 0.24:1. Okay, it indicates long term financial soundness. It is not dependent on outside sources. The company is trading on thick equity and leverage benefit is less. Okay, and the last one is solvency position. The above ratios shows that the company is more conservative in employing debt, because the more amount of capital is being issued through equity and preferential capital, and company has not taken any long term borrowings, and there is a less amount of debenture. So with the help of this we can write that the company is more conservative in employing debt, and therefore the overall solvency position of the company, we can say it is sound. Okay, because firms there is a firm is able, or firm's solvency position is sound in case of short term as well as long term. There are sufficient assets to repay the short term obligations as well as long term obligations. Okay, so this is your case study for 15 marks. I hope you understood all the ratios, calculation of all the ratios. So here we conclude the third unit. In the next class we will be starting with the fourth unit, that is funds flow statement. Okay, thank you.